This story here about Al Sharpton, Oprah Winfrey, and the Kamala Harris connection just says a lot of things. Now, I need someone to explain a couple of things to me before we get into this video. First of all, how do you spend $1 billion and still lose? Typically with elections, the candidate that has the most money is the one that wins. $1 billion and you still lose. And I think to myself, all that money down the drain. I'm thinking about what we could have done with that money in this country, right? We could have put that money into low-income communities. We could have built clinics. We could have done so much more with that money. And it all went to a dead-end campaign. Dead-end campaign. Well, how did all this happen? Kamala Harris right now is facing $20 million in debt. And as much as Oprah and some other people want to pretend like they didn't get some type of payout from this, we're going to debunk some things tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and get into this story here from News Nation.
And the Harris campaign now in debt, $20 million. Lindy Lee, one member of the DNC's finance committee, says she and others were misled about the vice president's chance of winning the election. Lee says she helped raise millions for the campaign and now has to explain to donors why Harris lost. Just one example of their spending. The Harris campaign spent $450,000 a day. This was on ads displayed in Las Vegas, and now staff members and vendors are worried they may not get paid. News Nation's Kelly Meyer has been following this story and joins us live from the White House with the very latest. Kelly?
Yeah, the election may be over, but the mountain of debt from the short-lived campaign isn't going away fast enough for them. The Harris campaign trying to dig out of debt nearly a week after their resounding loss. And much of the spending was on digital media advertising, polling, and travel from state to state. According to the reports, the Harris campaign spending six figures building a set for Harris's appearance on the Call Her Daddy podcast with host Alex Cooper. A source.
Pause right there. Money problem number one. You know, I didn't think it was true. B.I.G. had a song back in the day. I don't know if the young folks know about Biggie. Biggie had a song back in the day called Mo Money, More Problems. Actually, it was Biggie, Diddy, and Mace. Biggie's voice was, you know, kind of, there was a track of Biggie's voice because this was after he died. Funny how Diddy got to profit off of that. Anyway, more money, more problems. So she had a lot of money. But the first money problem is they paid to build a set for the Call Her Daddy podcast. And my whole thing is, first of all, why did you need to build a set? You know, why did you need to build a set? Why couldn't you just go into a room like I am in a room and have that interview? Why do you need to build a set? Why do people make things expensive that don't need to be expensive? Is this like just a rich people thing? Someone needs to explain this to me. So you didn't need to do that. You didn't need to do that. A lot of us that have podcasts, we don't build no set. Most of us don't have a studio. We just go into a room, shut the door, and here we are. So I don't understand that at all. That was a waste of money. Problem number one.
Familiar with the campaign, confirming to News Nation the reporting that the Harris campaign was $20 million in the hole after November 5th. And even though the campaign took in at least $1 billion and reported $118 million in the bank as of October 16th, they're still seeing that $20 million in the hole. Another big ticket price, the $15 million the Harris campaign spent on event production. That also went towards the celebrity performances leading up to the election, like that Election Eve rally with Lady Gaga, Katy Perry, Ricky Martin. And Harris also reportedly paid $1 million to Harpo Productions, that's owned by Oprah.
Pause. So this my thing, okay? Here's another thing. All of those celebrity performances, again, why did you need to have all those different celebrity performances? You only do that or feel like you need to do that if you're a weak candidate. Bernie Sanders had thousands of people at his rallies without celebrities. He didn't need one. I think Public Enemy was at one rally or something like that. But for most of them, there were no celebrities. You spend all that money on these people. More money, more problems. John Legend, you're friends with Kamala Harris, yes? So some of these people were friends with Kamala. You would have thought they would have made an appearance for free. I heard Eminem got paid. Eminem walked up on the stage. He didn't perform. Eminem walked up on the stage and he read, his little paragraph. He spoke for like a minute and 30 seconds, and then Obama came on the stage. You had to pay him for that? If I'm your friend and I believe in what you're doing, I'm just going to come and do it and say, hey, yeah, we're friends. Let's just do it. But you didn't need to have all these celebrities. That was the first problem.
Oprah, we know, did a town hall with Harris back in September and appeared with Harris at her election eve rally in Philadelphia. And one GOP strategist putting it to us this way today, saying, quote, damned if you do, damned if you don't, giving the example of John Kerry having been criticized for still having $14 million unspent after his 2004 campaign. The strategist, though, called Harris's debt, quote, egregious, and that they were panic spending in the very end. Kelly.
So
panic spending.
Kelly, how is the campaign trying to make up these losses now?
Well, we know that they are still fundraising despite the loss, sending out these emails you could see asking to donate to the Harris Fight Fund program. What's interesting to point out is that the donations to the Harris presidential campaign are being partially redirected toward a vote recount effort. So when you click,
this is a scam. This is a scam. I'm sorry. This is a scam. Stop it. News Nation, you should have been pushing back on this. Let's make this very clear. Are you seriously trying to tell me that they are sending out emails asking people for more money for a recount? Get out of here. This woman lost the black vote, the youth vote, the Muslim vote. What are you recounting? The Latino vote? There's no counts for you left. This is a scam. Do people not pick up on this? Let me put two and two together. $20 million in debt. How are we going to pay this debt? Didn't win the campaign. You got to pay this debt. Oh, guys, we are raising money for a recount. Sounds like a scam. Sounds like the money that they're raising for the recount is to pay off this $20 million debt. Now, I'm no rocket scientist, but I'm just putting two and two together here. It seems a little bit strange. Ay, ay, ay. This is embarrassing.
Donate. That link takes you to the Act Blue website. And the fine print suggests that the vice president's campaign might be launching a recount effort allocated to the Harris for President's recount account is where the money would go. And Donald Trump, we know, won the election with 312 electoral college votes, including in all 7 battleground states. The president-elect has since suggested Republicans might help cover the Democrats' debts, writing on Truth Social over the weekend, quote, now they are being squeezed by vendors and others. Whatever we can do to help them during this difficult period, I would strongly recommend we, as a party and for the sake of desperately needed unity, do.
So that's Donald Trump there saying, well, let's try to help them, get this recount accomplished. And that's because Donald Trump knows the recount isn't going to show anything different. You got to be some type of fool to really believe that this is going to change something. I looked at the numbers. I looked at the data. No, you in debt, and now you asking for money. So it sounds like to me the money is going to be going towards the debt.
No word yet if President-elect Trump has followed through on that Truth Social post. Kelly.
All right, maybe a nice unity moment. Kelly Meyer.
Oh, that's him trying to prove a point. Him trying to say, oh, yeah, let's go ahead. I'll help you do that. Let's help you get this money for this recount so I can prove that I'm right. That I'm right. So what does all this have to do with Oprah and Al? Well, let's get started with Al. Al Sharpton. Kamala Harris gave $500,000 to MSNBC anchor's nonprofit before the network's fawning interview. I thought this was your friend. I thought you guys were homies. It goes on to say here, I don't know if I can make this big. Okay, I can. Vice President Harris' presidential campaign delivered $500,000 in donations to Al Sharpton's nonprofit organization just prior to a glowing interview with the candidate on MSNBC. Harris's campaign gave two payments of $250,000 to National Action Network on September 5th and October 1st. This is according to the campaign finance records. Sharpton publicly backed Harris after Biden endorsed her to succeed him in his election campaign. After Sharpton's organization received donations from Harris, he got a coveted sit-down interview with her just 2 weeks before the election. So this is a pay-to-play scheme. You help me, I help you. She put money towards this nonprofit. Now it's like, oh, I'll do a glowing interview of you. Won't press you, right? Harris appeared on Sharpton's MSNBC Politics Nation show on October 20th. And it exclusively aired on the cable network. Now it goes into some of the quotes that she made there. There he is, Al Sharpton. There he is. There he is. Mr. Informant, Mr. Snitch. That's him. Now it goes on to say here, neither MSNBC or Al Sharpton disclosed the donations to Sharpton's organization during the interview, where Harris spoke about issues pertaining to Black communities. The National Action Network did not respond to dailymail.com requests for comment. I bet they didn't. Jeez Louise. During the interview, Sharpton was asking Harris to react to the narrative that Black men were not supporting her due to misogyny in the community. She goes on to say, it's just not panning out in reality in terms of when I go to last night in Atlanta and have 10,000 people at a rally. Well, yeah, I mean, you had celebrities at that rally. Of course, if you told me that Meg Thee Stallion or someone's going to be here, I'm like, oh, I get to go see a free concert? Of course. So Al didn't tell anybody about this. And that's the interview they're referring to. I covered that one as well on the show. The Harris campaign increased spending with Black activist organizations in the final weeks of the campaign to boost Black voter turnout. So you see, so she knew she was struggling with the numbers. So let me donate and that'll help Black voter turnout. It did not. Sharpton pushed back against critics of Harris for branding her as Kamala the cop, defending her record as a progressive prosecutor. Actually, the person that she ran against was the progressive. The person who was already in office was the progressive. She ran to his right. So there's that. You know, so you look, she put money towards his organization. So he gives her an interview where he kisses her ass to make her look better than what she actually looks. You used to be attacked for being too progressive as an attorney. He said during the interview, Sharpton has sided with the Democratic Party throughout his activist career, but at one time he frequently spent time with Trump as a prominent New York celebrity. A lot of people spent time with Trump. This old school Al Sharpton, you guys, that's back when, see, young folk, hold up. Young people in the chat, some of you know Al Sharpton the way he looks today. I remember old school Al. I remember Al with the perm. And this is Al with the perm. That was Al Sharpton back in the day. And yeah, and it goes on, it says here how he loved Trump back then. It said, Donald Trump said, I have known Al for 25 years. We went to fights with him and Don King. Always got along well. He loved Trump. Trump wrote on social media. He would ask me for favors often. Al is a con man, a troublemaker, always looking for a score, just doing his thing. Al Sharpton. I can't believe they bust out the old school Al Sharpton photo there. But yeah, so Al Sharpton, his organization, Kamala Harris paid his organization $500,000. And then he did the glowing interview of her. People asking where this money went. I'm telling you where this money went, okay? And this is just to name a few. Now we get to Oprah. Remember this? Remember this town hall?
And it's about decency and respect and all the things that we were raised to believe about what it means to be an American citizen and pursue the American dream. And if that is important to you, I hope whether you are a Democrat or a Republican or somewhere in the middle, you will choose to vote your values, because values are on the line in this election. And in no other country on this earth could her story unfold the way it has. From a child of immigrants to big sister to McDonald's worker, there is hope for y'all. District attorney, a wife, and mamala to senator to vice president. Please welcome Kamala Harris.
So everybody remember this. I have to mute this part for a second because of the music. So remember this town hall that Oprah hosted, and you saw all the celebrities there on the screens in the background. I think Julia Roberts was there. Ben Stiller was there. Again, all the celebrification, and Kamala walks out, yada, yada. Let me shake the hands of all these people. There's Gretchen Whitmer. Remember this big event that was happening? Mm-hmm. Well, apparently this event cost some money. Some money. Everybody see it?
Hi. So welcome
Oprah, hello.
Madam Vice President.
So everybody remembers this, right? Oprah had to do the ho. That event apparently cost a lot of money. Now I want to show you how much this event cost. And Oprah has been denying some things. So let's look at this. Oprah is saying she did not take a personal fee for the Harris event. You know, the way people word things is important, right? Because I can tell you that I didn't take a personal fee. But if my production company is the one that's being used, you know, let me get into this. So it says right here, Oprah said, I was not paid a dime. My time and energy was my way of supporting the campaign, Winfrey said in a comment on Instagram. I did not take a personal fee. However, the people who worked on that production needed to be paid and were. End of story. Let's look at this, guys. Look at the FEC filing, because you see, one thing about campaigns is the spending has to be filed here. So you will see spending here. Now, when I'm looking at the FEC filing, October 15th, 2024, Kamala Harris for president. Everybody see this? Harpo Productions Incorporated, $500,000. There's another one here. Harris for president. Harpo Productions Incorporated, October 15th, $500,000. So together, that's $1 million. So Oprah may not have received a personal fee, a check that was made out to her, but Harpo Productions is Oprah's company. Now, when Oprah says, well, the production people needed to be paid. Okay. How much did you pay the production people? And once again, and we can come back to that FEC filing in just a second. Once again, why did you have to have an expensive set, an expensive production? I have seen Oprah Winfrey interview Prince Harry and Meghan at their house. I saw Oprah Winfrey interview Michael Jackson at his house. I've seen Oprah Winfrey interview people outside. Why did you need a $1 million set? This is insane. Doesn't make any sense. So it just, this is not needed. This was not needed. You can get, again, a room, set up chairs. I know how much this stuff costs because I used to do event planning. When I worked at the university, Part of my job was to coordinate the events for the students. I know how much it costs to get chairs. I planned my own wedding. I know how much those chairs cost. I know how much these things cost to get tables and chairs. Now I'm looking at this room. And in this room, we see chairs. But there's a little, end table here between Oprah and Kamala. Did you guys buy these couches? Did you buy new couches for this event? You guys couldn't just sit on 2 chairs? And then everybody else in the audience is sitting on a regular chair. Then you have the celebrities on the screens in the background. So that's the virtual stuff. So what I'm trying to figure out is, and let's see if I can go back here just a little bit. Can we go back? Here we go. This is the setup. So you got the camera crew here over towards the right. You got the production people. So you got a cameraman. Someone is managing the webinar here, the virtual webinar and all that kind of stuff. But you mean to tell me there was no other way to make this a cheaper event? I don't want to hear. Guys, I sat in a room with a couple other people with a round table right in front of me for free, interviewing them, so that there's no excuse for this. So all this money that was spent is just, this is bad money management. Bad money management, fam. $500,000, $500, Harpo Productions. You didn't even need all that. You didn't even need, I have a difficult time understanding this. What is it, Auntie Shawnee? They rented those chairs and couches. Okay, they rented them. So that's even cheaper. But what is happening? And Zoom, by the way, if they use Zoom, I'm not sure if they did, but Zoom, I have the webinar account for Zoom. That's $50 a month. I'm just trying to add all this up in my head. I'm just trying to come up with that $1 million. So something to me just don't feel right. Don't feel right. And then I think if you guys wanted to see more, yeah, you can do it by the amount. So you can see just all the money. And don't get me wrong, campaigns do spend a lot of money. But I'm just trying to figure out, again, did you really need to spend $1 million? Child of God said they had $1 billion, though. Where'd that money go? Exactly. What did you use? And they said, well, we had ads. Every campaign has ads. Next. Well, we had travel. All these candidates travel. Next. I'm trying to figure out where you spent. They spent it on the celebrities, guys. They spent it on the celebrities. And now they're $20 million in debt. Nat said that could have went towards student debt forgiveness. You damn right. It could have went towards something. $1 billion could have went toward a poor community, could have transformed that whole community. Where all this money come from? As soon as you need people to give money to a campaign, the money just fly right out the door. But you got people sitting there who are billionaires, got all this money, and I don't see them trying to put that money towards fixing up poor communities. That's the thing that pisses me off. All that money went to a campaign that lost. It doesn't make any sense. I need someone to do accounting, because I find it absolutely ridiculous. You paid $1 million for that town hall. We live in a cartoon. Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.